If Jordan Montgomery and Jack Flaherty are, as expected, traded away, who might they go to and what kind of return can the Cardinals expect to get? This is Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Haffern, and I'm a national radio sports anchor, born and raised in the Lou, and a lifetime Cardinals fan. And I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. You can follow me on Twitter at JD Sports Radio. Follow the podcast at LO_Cardinals. I want to thank those of you who make Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, interact with us. That way you're hitting the notification button and knowing when the new episodes are posted. Be a part of the show, because this is a show serving Cardinal Nation, giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Now, yesterday might have been the last time that we see Captain Jack Flaherty on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals, a player that has seen the highest of highs and the lowest of lows while wearing a Cardinals uniform. And Jack's time with the team off the field, it hasn't always gone so smoothly either. He's not a particularly outgoing personality, at least. I mean, I've never met him, but just from the way he conducts himself during interviews, with the way he is, on the bench, and he comes off as somebody who's not all that colorful. Not that a lot of Cardinal players usually are, but he's there. And what I'm saying from this is not a knock on him. I'm just saying he's always it looks like he's business, man. That he is laser focused. It's business. He's there to do work. Pitching is his job. He takes it very seriously, obviously. And when things would go bad, you could tell that it ticked him off. Heck, when things went well, he still didn't smile all that much, did he? But Jack has been a very good pitcher for the Cardinals. When healthy, of course. His stars seem to be ascending to the top of the list when it came to right-handed pitchers in Major League Baseball back in 2019. He goes 11-8, ERA at 2.75, had a whip under 1, which is crazy. The wildness that we've seen from Jack Flaherty in recent years was not a thing. Non-existent back then. 2019, this is how good he was. He throws 196 in the third innings, strikes out 231 hitters, and he only walked 55. Those are insane numbers. Only 23 at the time, and he just seemed destined for greatness. It seemed like the Cardinals had plucked a superstar. 2020, pandemic year happens. Numbers aren't quite as good, but we don't put much stock into that season because what a weird time, right? But in 2021, he was off to another great start, and then the injuries. The injuries begin, and they torment his career for the next couple of seasons. Now, this year, Jack has stayed healthy, and after a slow start, has shown some flashes of the guy that we saw back in 2019. Now he's had some blow-up games from time to time, and it happens to the best of them. But here in July, 3-1, 3.03 ERA. On the year, the team is 13-7 in games that he started. Has been able to show a knack for getting out of real tight situations when things don't look like they're going to go so well, and they're going to tip over and Cardinals are going to get buried. He gets them out of it. He certainly has plenty to offer to a team that is interested in trading for him. That is, if the Cardinals decide to trade him. We know that Mo put up the for sale sign, and the thought was that Flaherty and Jordan Montgomery would be the two guys. If anybody was traded, it was going to be those two guys from the rotation that would be sent packing because they're set to hit free agency. Now, John Denton at MLB.com stirred up kind of a hornet's nest earlier today when he said in his newsletter today that Flaherty, who pitched well over 5 innings on Wednesday in Arizona, might not be on his way out of town just yet. The Cardinals are still holding out hope that an 11th hour long-term extension can be reached before Tuesday. according to a source familiar with the club's thinking. Despite years of fan speculation that Flaherty, a Southern California native, would likely jump at the chance to leave St. Louis for the West Coast, the franchise is still of the belief that Flaherty covets the opportunity to pitch for the Cardinals. The two sides have made little progress toward an extension in recent days, but the Cardinals are expected to make one more contract extension run at Flaherty before the deadline, a source confirmed. If that fails, the Cardinals will likely be forced to deal Flaherty. Now, that makes you think like, whoa, wait a second. So wait, we're not trading Jack Flaherty now? And we're actually going to try to keep him around? That's what's going on? Not so fast. Derek Gould at STLtoday.com combats what Denton said, saying that the team and Flaherty have not actually had conversations about an extension in several months, per multiple sources. And then you saw people starting to tweet about it earlier today, kind of backing up what Gould says. And so I don't know what or where Denton got his information. He could be right still, and these other reporters may be wrong. But to me, it just seems like he's going to get traded. So who is the real question? And if the team can't come to an agreement, this miracle agreement in the 11th hour, then he seems to be a good fit for a number of teams. And some of the places that I've seen his name mentioned as a good fit for have been the Arizona Diamondbacks, who he helped the Cardinals beat on Wednesday. The Guardians, the Yankees have shown interest. Tampa Bay, the Orioles, maybe now the Angels, who last night decided to say we're taking Shohei off the market. In fact, we're going to buy. And they made the trade for Lucas Giolito and Reynaldo Lopez. But the team I like the most that I feel like it would be a good fit, although I haven't really heard any rumors naming them specifically, would be the San Francisco Giants. Again, Flaherty, West Coast guy. Giants could use an upgrade. They definitely could use an upgrade. They got Anthony DeSclafani, Ross Stripling, and Alex Wood as their 3-4-5 right now. Not the sexiest back end of the rotation. And they've got some pitching prospects to burn. 7 of their top 12 prospects are pitchers. Kyle Harrison, their number 1 prospect, considered one of the top left-handed pitching prospects in baseball, if not the top left-handed pitching prospect in baseball, is not going to get moved. Not for Jack Flaherty. So don't expect that. But would they be interested in maybe moving their number 4 prospect, lefty Carson Wisenhunt? Would that be somebody they would consider sending to the Cardinals? And I know the Cardinals are looking for players who are already major league ready, or at least close to it. That's what we've heard. Wisenhunt's a former second-round pick from just last year. Was one of the top lefties in that draft. Does have some baggage. Got busted for PEDs, suspended for a year while he was in college. He's at AA right now. But in the 3 levels that he's pitched at this year, bear with me here, 1-1 in 16 starts, but 83 strikeouts in 58 2/3 innings and an ERA of 2.45. Maybe I'm aiming too high by asking for a number 4 overall prospect. But if you package, say, Jack Flaherty with Paul DeJong and Chris Stratton, Giants are reportedly in the market for some middle infield help as well. Would that get it done? Could you pull somebody like Wisenhunt from the Giants? I don't know. It's all speculation right now. And all I can do is go through teams and kind of look at, okay, what does this guy got? And I'm looking more at like strikeouts to innings. You know, who's the one that's punching people out more often than not? Wisenhunt kind of fits that bill. Again, I haven't heard any specifics about the Giants being a team that the Cardinals are talking to, but I don't know, just seems like a good fit to me. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments in the comment section below. And we're going to discuss Jordan Montgomery next and his possible trade destinations on Locked On Cardinals. Finally, taking that summer vacation you've been planning but dreading, buying all of the necessities before you take off. It's time to stop spending your hard-earned money without getting anything in return. Enter Ibotta. Ibotta gives you cash back on hundreds of grocery items, from produce to personal care to pantry goods, so you can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. Either link your loyalty account or upload your receipt after you shop and get your cash back. It's just that easy. Very, very simple, which is what we like in this world, right? We want simple. I don't want complicated. Make it simple. The average Ibotta user earns $120 per year. That could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip. You could use your cash back to buy that flight that you've been eyeing up to go somewhere cool. You could use it towards the game you've been dying to go to. Cubs in town this weekend at Busch Stadium. You could use it towards that. Use it towards a fancy dinner. Take your wife out to celebrate something. Other apps give you points that don't amount to much. With Ibotta, you get real cash back that you can cash out to your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. You can earn cash back on hundreds of online brands and retailers too when you start with Ibotta, including Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and more. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 just for trying Ibotta by using the code MLB when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app and use code MLB. That's Ibotta in the Google Play or App Store and use code MLB. The Cardinals battle the Cubs tonight. You can catch every pitch of the Cardinals hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Just search Cardinals. Again, thank you for making Locked on Cardinals your first listen every day. Leave comments on YouTube as well as on Twitter anytime you want. Your feedback is always welcome and encouraged. Again, you don't always have to agree with what I'm saying. It's okay. We can have a discussion about it. The name calling and things like that, we frown upon that at the Locked On Network, so no need to get personal with anybody. But if you want to have just some fun discussion and talk some ball, by all means, put the comments down below on YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter. Let's talk about Jordan Montgomery. Jordan Montgomery is, in my opinion, having a better season than Jack Flaherty, which I think I assume would mean he could earn you more than Jack Flaherty would in a trade. Could land you a pretty good prospect or group of prospects. I've seen his name brought up a lot with teams in the American League East, which makes a lot of sense, considering that's where the Cardinals got him from last year with the Harrison Bader trade. The Orioles is a team that strikes me as somebody that could really use a veteran presence like Jordan Montgomery in their rotation. I'm not the only one that feels this way. I also saw that Jim Bowden felt the same way, that the Orioles would be a solid fit for Montgomery. He thinks the Cardinals could actually land someone like Baltimore's 11th ranked prospect, Cade Povich, in return. Now, if you're not familiar with Povich, that's okay. It's hard to keep up with all the prospects. I get it. But he's a former third-round pick by the Twins in 2021. Got shipped to Baltimore last year for Jorge Lopez. Left-handed, 6'3", 185. He's currently a AA. 6-7 ERA at 4.87. Nothing great there, right? But check this out. 118 strikeouts in 81 and a third innings. That is something the Cardinals will be very, very attracted to. Bowden suggests teaming him up with another top 20 prospect from the Orioles. He mentions third baseman Max Wagner, who's their number 12 guy. But personally, I think the Cardinals would just assume, let's just stick. Let's just go ahead and stick with pitching prospects. So righties who are a little bit lower down on their prospect list there, but still top 25, top 30. Seth Johnson, Chase McDermott are some names that look good to me. Bowden also dropped a Montgomery to the Arizona Diamondbacks for right-hander Dylan Ray, their 22nd ranked prospect, and outfielder Wilder Patino, their 13th prospect. He says that Ray, 22 years old, fourth round pick in 2022, draft out of the University of Alabama. Out of Alabama. I always want to say it that way. Logged a 4.11 ERA to 1.161 whip in 16 starts this season at high A. 86 Ks and 72 and a third innings. Patino's 21. Profiles as a table setter with blazing speed. Stole 67 bases in the minor leagues last year. Has already swiped 41 this year. I know it never hurts to have too much speed. You see what like the Cincinnati Reds this year, what they're doing with their running game. You know, they're creating a lot of chaos on the base paths, and they're winning because of it. They lead the league in stolen bases. The Cardinals already have a guy that is similar, in my opinion, to Patino in fan of the show and friend of the show, Victor Scott II, who is now at AA, has a combined 64 stolen bases already this year between his time at A-ball and AA. He's the Cardinals' 23rd ranked prospect, so I don't know if bringing a guy in that's similar to what Victor already brings to the table is even necessary. But that's what Jim Bowden says is something that he'd be looking at when it comes to trades for Jordan Montgomery. I like the fit with the Orioles. I don't foresee the Yankees trying to get him back. I've seen the Red Sox name pop up a few times as well, but he's going to get some attention, obviously. He's 6'6", left-hander. Career ERA is under 4. He's pretty darn good. So somebody's going to want him. Somebody's going to want him. So I'm sure he's going to get flipped at some point before the trade deadline. Last night you had that Angels and White Sox trade that went down, and it was Lucas Giolito and Reynaldo Lopez to the Angels for their number 2 and 3 prospects. If you paired somebody like Hicks, if they don't come to an agreement on an extension, and you paired Hicks with either Flaherty or Montgomery, like what could you get in return? If you're getting number 2 and 3 prospects out of the Angels, what could you get from some of these other teams if you put them together? There are still some really good names out there that could be available still. Blake Snell from the Padres, Eduardo Rodriguez from Detroit, Marcus Stroman from Chicago. You've heard the Mets names of Verlander and Scherzer as possibilities. I don't know how I found that crazy if the Mets decided to deal either of them. Dylan Cease from the White Sox. But Montgomery and Flaherty, they're right up there with some of these big names. And if you put Hicks in there too, those are 3 of the top, I would say, at least top 15 arms that are available. I would consider top 10 arms that are available. So the Cardinals are going to get some action here. They have a chance here. John Mozeliak has a chance here to get a jump start on fixing this Cardinals pitching staff that has kind of thrown the 2023 season down the toilet. It won't all get fixed at the trade deadline. Remember that. Like, the trades that are made, they're not going to be, that's it. That's all they had to do. Like, they're going to have to figure something out in the offseason. They're going to have to probably move more people. They're going to have to spend some money probably in free agency. And Mo has admitted that he's admitted publicly that the decision-making going into the season didn't work. It was bad. Hopefully they've learned from these mistakes, and this retool that they're going to try to do instead of a rebuild will hopefully get the organization back on track to compete as early as next season. I've got more on the latest rumors and deals next. In fact, an NL Central deal just went down a few moments ago, so I'll tell you what that's all about, and we'll preview tonight's game against the Cubs on Locked On Cardinals. The Cardinals are back home at Busch Stadium to battle the Cubs. You can catch every pitch of the Cardinals' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Just search Cardinals. The Cardinals offense went nuts, went wild on the Diamondbacks yesterday, popping 5 home runs. You got 2 by Gorman in their victory. They take 2 of 3 in the desert. They return home tonight. They'll need all the offense they can get. Justin Steele back on the hill for the Cubs. Why do we always get Justin Steele? Have you noticed that? I feel like the Cardinals have faced him like 8 times this year, and he's dominated the Cardinals 8 times this year. Tonight's lineup against Chicago does not have Paul DeJong in it, despite the lefty on the mound, which got things swirling on social media, but apparently just a planned day off for Paulie D. He and Nootbaar went into yesterday tied for the most games played in the month of July in the entire league. So just going to get him off his feet for a day. The immortal Taylor Motter, manning shortstop tonight. That's the first big league start at short for Motter. So him and his luscious locks will be out there tonight. According to Derek Gould, the team is receiving interest in and considering offers in some cases. This is the latest for Flaherty, Hicks, Helsley, Montgomery, Stratton, Gallegos. A young reliever may complete the deal. Carlson, Burleson, O'Neill, and of course Gorman. And you see Gorman's name there, and why wouldn't a team ask about him? Doesn't mean the Cardinals are trading him. I don't even know who it would take for the Cardinals to even consider moving Nolan Gorman right now. But everyone else that is listed there, we've discussed in some way. And we'll continue to as more information continues to come out. Not all of these names that we see here are going to get moved, but a couple probably will. So we'll be on full hug watch, as we like to call it tonight, when the team battles the Cubs, who still have not let their intentions be known as far as what they're going to do with Marcus Stroman or Cody Bellinger. Be really nice if you just traded Bellinger away, because I'm tired of seeing him. I don't want to see him, and I don't want to see Steele anymore. Everybody else is fine. I mentioned that there was an NL Central trade made just a few moments ago, and one that was NL Central Pirates sending Carlos Santana to the Brewers for a shortstop prospect. Yeah, the Angels trade last night. The Dodgers making some moves as well. So things are starting to move a little bit. So it's a little crawl right now, but I would assume this weekend things are going to speed up. So buckle in, fans. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Be sure to catch every pitch of the Cardinals hometown broadcast for the series against the Cubs with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Just search Cardinals. It's Michaelis against Steele tonight from Busch. First pitch is scheduled for 6:45 St. Louis time. I apologize. I keep looking down because Twitter's going wild, and I want to make sure I don't miss any trades or anything made. But it looks like we're okay right now. If you haven't already, please give us a follow on Twitter at LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. Like and subscribe on YouTube. You guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason, and I'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.